Hello, everybody. This is Mac, and we're going to talk about the standard form of an equation, okay? And you can see right here, you have some kind of an x plus some kind of a y equals some kind of a number. And so we usually call that ax plus by equals c. This actually becomes very important when we're doing things like circles and hyperbolas and in Algebra 2. When we're doing the just making a linear equation, well, we're just doing a line. To be honest with you, it's a little easier when we're using the point slope or the y-intercept. So some people really like it. There's a way to play with the a's and b's and c's, but to me, this is only valuable if you're looking for x and y-intercepts. Otherwise, you want to change it around. And when we start doing harder things in Algebra 2, this whole thing with standard equation will come back. But let's learn it. Let's show you how some teachers might show this equation. As a reminder, before we start, if you go to maxtutorials.com, that's where you'll find the point slope and the y-intercept, which is a little more valuable for linear equations. So make sure you look those up. And there's a lot more math there, okay? Please like and subscribe this, and hopefully this will help you out. Now, this makes it really easy when you're just looking for the intercepts. So if you remember, let's just do some. Like, let's say I plug in 0 for x. If I plug in 0 for x, that goes away, and what am I left with? Y equals 6. Now, what does y equals 6 mean? Okay, well, let's go and just do the other one. Now, what if I plug in 0 for y? If I plug in 0 for y, then I'm going to get a 2x equals 6, and I'm going to get x equals 3. Okay, so again, the y equals 6 when the x is 0. Okay, so when the x is 0, what does that mean? Well, let's just draw it. 0, 6 would look like this. Okay, so what is that? That is your y-intercept. So that would be at 0, 6. And how about the other one? This is when the y is 0, so this is 3, 0. And that would be 3, 0. Look, I've got 2 points. I've got my line. And if I wanted to figure out slope, I absolutely could do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. That's negative 6 over 3, or that would equal a negative 2, okay? So there's different ways that we could come up to do this, all right? But that right there, this is just one way to do that, okay? So let's do this. So let's plug in 0 for y. If I plug in 0 for y, 2 times 0 is 0, and my x is going to equal 8, okay? So I'm going to have an 8, 0. All right, well, what if I plug in 0 for x? If I plug in 0 for x, I'm going to get 2y equals 8. I'm going to divide each side by 2, and I'm going to get y equals 4. So I'm going to get 0, 4. Okay, so now my x-intercept is going to be at 8, 0. My y-intercept is going to be at 0, 4. Boom. And so it's really easy to find the intercepts when it's in the standard form. Okay, let's take a look here at number 3. So now I know that when I have my x-intercept and my y-intercept, when I have my y-intercept, my x is going to be 0. And when I have my y-intercept, x is 0. And my x-intercept, my y is going to be 0, correct? Okay, so x-intercept, y equals 0. Plug that in, and I'm going to go to 3x equals 9. Divide each side by 3, x equals 3. Yay, okay? Now let me plug in 0 for the x, and I'm going to get negative y equals 9, or y equals 9, right? Now you just graph them. Here's 3, 0. Here's 0, 9, somewhere way up there. Boom, and I get my lines. Okay, let's go on to number 4. Number 4, if I plug in, let's just do it this way. Something, comma, 0, and this one is going to be 0, comma, something. All right, let's plug in 0 for x. If I plug in 0 for x, I get 3y equals 12, or y equals 4. Boom, okay? Well, let's plug in 0 for the y. That whole thing's going to become 0. I'm going to get 2x equals 12, and when I solve for that, I'm going to get x equals 6. Boom, okay? Here's 6, 0. Here's 0, 4, and boom, okay? There's my line. All right, let's do this one. Again, finding the intercepts. This is going to be, x is going to be, sorry, let me put it do it this way. Okay, when I do these, remember, it's going to be the x equals 0 when I'm looking for the y-intercept. And it's going to be y equals 0 when I'm looking for the x-intercept, okay? So let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to plug in 0 here, and I'm going to get a negative 2y equals 8, divide each side by negative 2, and I'm going to get y equals negative 4. So when you plug x in as 0, your y is going to be a negative 4. Now let's do the other way around, where I plug 0 for the y, and I'm going to get 4x equals 8, and hopefully you can see right away that that's just x equals 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and go 2, 0. Let's go ahead and go 0, negative 4, which is way down here, and then boom, I got it. Okay, so now here, let's plug in 0 for the y, and I'm just going to get x equals 5. Okay, so when x is 5, my 0 is, other way around. When my x is 5, my y is going to be 0. All right, so now let's go the other way around, where I put the 0 in here, and I'm going to get negative y equals 5. And when I divide each by a negative 1, I'm going to get y equals negative 5. 0, comma, negative 5. So 5, 0, and 0, negative 5. Boom. Okay, let's keep going. X is going to be, x-intercept is when y is 0. Y-intercept is when x is 0. All right, let's do this. Let's plug in a 0 for x. So this is my y-intercept. And I'm going to get 2y equals 18, which is y equals 9. Okay, and if I plug in 0 for the y, I'm going to get 3x equals 18, which is going to be, boom, 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 x equals 6. Now we go ahead and we graph that. There's my 6, 0. There's my 0, 9, and boom, there's my line. And last one, if I plug in a 0 for x, it's just y equals 10, okay? So it's 0, 10. And if I plug in a 0 here, I just get 5x equals 10. And when I do all that, I just get an x equals 2, okay? 2, comma, 0. And when I graph that, there's 0, 10. Let's just say it's way up there because I ran out of room. And 2 zeros right there. And boom, there's my line, okay? And again, you can check all these to the graph. And I have prettier ones here than me drawing on a screen. But there's one way that you can use the standard form. Now, if they give it to you in standard form and you'd rather use point slope or y-intercept, which is a little easier to graph from a lot of people, you don't have to plug in the zeros and all that, that's great, but you got to transform them. Well, how do you transform them? Well, I'm glad you asked, because we're going to do that in the next video. So I'll see you guys there. Take care.